This is Intoxicated Literature.
Hello, and welcome to Intoxicated Literature. This is Evelyn Crow.
And I'm Daniella Drake.
We are tonight reading Asiri and Amaru by Natalia Hernandez.
And before we really get into it, spoilers, we are going to talk about the entire book. So if you have not read it, please push pause, go read it, and come back and join us.
Yes, and this is adult content. This is an adult book. This is a romance. There will be we're talking about sex, so...
we swear a lot, so if you don't like swearing, this is probably not the podcast for you in general. So let's get into it. What did we think? First initial thoughts.
Let's talk about what we're drinking before we forget.
No! Okay. We tried so hard to get Pisco, and it apparently in Southern California, it is sold out everywhere.
Sold out everywhere. It is apparently the in thing to have one. And
couldn't get it in Orange County, couldn't get it in LA County. It was not available. So
sold
we're
the
having
fuck out.
We're having beer.
Yay!
Which yay! But yeah, it was. I could not believe how popular.
Liked to try one. And
yeah, I was excited.
Couldn't find the ingredients anywhere.
Anywhere. So yes, tonight we are drinking beer.
Anyway, so Asiri and Amaru is actually really good.
Right?
I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was super cute.
I did too.
Very sweet.
If you have not read Natalia Hernandez, she is amazing. She has another book out called The Name Bearer, which is a young adult novel. And I have read, and so I went in thinking I knew how she wrote and what her books were like. I was not prepared for this book. This book was
you were
great.
pleasantly surprised?
I was. I loved this book.
Nice.
And I'm eagerly waiting the next installment. So
yeah, so like I guess there are going to be 5 books in this series, standalone books, so you can read them in any order. But this was the first, obviously, the kickoff book, and I also was pleasantly surprised. I have not read The Name Bearer yet. It's on my TBR, but because this is a cozy fantasy, I bumped it up the list because it's my jam. And I'm really glad that I did, because I thought that it was super cute.
You know, I'm not a big fan of young adult, which is probably why The Name Bearer wasn't higher on my list.
Yeah.
But I love romance, so this was amazing, and I loved it, so
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it was very cute.
So we have Asiri, and in the beginning, we see her in the Casa de... I apologize if I mispronounced anything. I tried really hard to learn how to say everything. So, Natalia, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced something. It's the Casa de Murmullos, I think, where she works as an animal communicator. She can talk to animals. It's really cool.
Which I feel like this book was made for us, because I feel like if we had a superpower, that's what we would choose.
I would totally do that. That is
right?
so cool.
Love it.
I know.
I love it. And I loved all of the animals in this book. I thought it was so great. I loved the puppy so much that I literally, as soon as I read it, I had to tell my boyfriend about it.
Yeah.
Like, he was sitting next to me, and I was like, oh my god, you have to hear about this.
The puppy was saying, he's a good boy, and he's a good girl. And
It was so sweet. Made my heart grow 3 sizes. I know. And then the little sweet little song that he sang to her, and she's singing it, and I'm just like, oh, I cannot stand how cute and sweet this is.
Adorable. Oh my god. But even like just the beginning, it was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to get these 3 animals who are all like, you know, naturally opposed to each other to be in one place at one time. This is impossible. And I'm like, yeah, it's impossible. What the fuck?
What are you doing? Exactly. But it's so important. Like, I loved the way that the setup paid off.
Yes.
Because we come full circle in the novel, right? Like, that whole opening scene becomes so important because it's a huge callback at, like, the big climax moment.
It absolutely does.
It was so well thought out. Loved it. Loved it.
I'm going to tell you that the character development in this is so good. It is not a long book, and it is an easy read. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm telling you this because the character development is still so good. By the time we get to the end, I was crying. I teared up
me
a little
too.
bit.
Me too. I did too.
And I'm like, I'm crying.
No, so, okay. Not just the characters, but the animal characters.
All of it.
Like,
yeah.
The Marco, the, like,
guinea pig?
potty mouth guinea pig. Love him.
He stepped up and I'm just like, oh, Marco.
The minute he volunteered, sobbed.
I know.
I'm not even kidding.
I was like, Marco.
And the little hummingbird, Felipe.
The hummingbird.
Or is it Felipe? I don't know.
Felipe, I think it's in Spanish.
Felipe, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
But oh my god! And he's just like, no, I got this. And she doesn't really believe him. And she's like, well, okay.
And he totally had it.
And he had it! And he grows to like this giant eagle, and I'm just like, oh my god!
I know. Total tears. Total, absolute tears.
Full on sobbing. My poor boyfriend is just sitting there going, what is happening? We were just talking about how happy you were about a puppy, and now we're sobbing.
I'm telling you, it was amazing. I loved it so much.
It was so good. And I loved Asiri because she was so relatable. She's slightly awkward because she's been really sheltered, right? And I actually I kind of wish that there was a little bit more like discussion about her relationship with her dad and stuff. Like, it felt a little bit abrupt in the beginning.
I do wish that it were a little bit longer and she had a little bit more time in the Casa de Mameros.
I know. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that so that I could understand the dynamic a little better. I mean, obviously her dad is a bad person.
I think he's just an ass. That's the impression we were given, and that's what I'm sticking with. So
exactly. So
yeah. And we never see him again.
Which, good riddance as far as I'm concerned. I hope he doesn't come back in future books because I'm pretty sure given what Dario knows about him,
yes.
If he saw him, he would kill him
I'm
on
pretty
sight.
sure, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Also, Dario's
amazing.
fucking adorable.
I love him so much.
Fucking adorable. Cinnamon roll, golden retriever, whatever you want to call him. Like, just the cutest. Super sweet. Obviously neurodivergent.
It feels ADHD with the hyperactivity, hyperfocus kind of thing, but it's not explicitly stated, so I'm not gonna put a label on it. But it's,
what a sweetie.
God. Oh my god.
What a sweetie.
Yes.
Love him.
Absolutely love him. Adorable.
Yeah, so cute.
And the two of them together were just so awkwardly cute.
I know. I was like, you guys.
I will say there were a couple of times where I just wanted to grab the two of them and be like, stop it!
And shake them. I know. Same. For sure.
It's not their fault at all.
No.
But at the same time, it's just like, oh my god, you guys!
I know. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. But I love them so much. I'm not a huge fan of the insta-love thing. Like, that's never really been a huge, thing of mine. But you know what? It was such a sweet book.
Was.
Like, I was just along for the ride.
When you have these shorter books, you kind of have to have, more of an insta attraction to love kind of thing because you don't have a lot of room for anything else.
Absolutely.
So, it made sense in this book. Yeah. For sure.
I agree. Yeah. I think it worked.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I loved the whole story. I loved, the Amaru, which I didn't even know existed before this book, so that was awesome.
This challenged my entire folklore, upbringing in so many ways. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it, because that whole crossing the lake with an alligator thing was all I could think of were fables from my childhood.
Yes!
And I got so fucking tense, and I'm going, this is not my culture. You need to let it go. The whole time.
I had the same response. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the shortest book ever.
Right? All I kept thinking, all my brain wanted to do was go, it's Aesop's Fables. I'm like, no, it's not. Fuck you.
No, it's not. Exactly. I did the same thing. I did the exact same thing. Had to, unlearn all of that. Yes.
Oh my god. And it was so cool that she was just like, no, friendly, working with animals, we're working with animals, we're working with animals.
Yes.
They're friendly.
I totally had the same experience.
And I really actually enjoyed that challenge in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
It was super fun for me.
I also cannot tell you how much I enjoyed the footnotes.
Yes!
Loved them. Loved all of them.
I read every one.
Like, not only were, like, half of them were snarky.
Yes!
Which, loved that. And half of them were just really interesting things that I didn't know.
I don't know a lot about the mythology of...
No, I don't know a lot of Peruvian mythology at all, so this was an amazing experience for me. And I've been trying desperately, like, I love cozy fantasy, and it's right now kind of dominated with a lot of white authors, mostly because it doesn't really know what it is yet, and cozy means something different to everyone. Yeah. So I was super excited when Natalia said that she was releasing this book, because I was like, oh, yes, finally. And I'm so glad, because it was such an interesting book for me to read, because I learned so much from it. Not only was it fun, but I also learned a lot, which was amazing. It
really was very, very cool.
Yeah.
I still don't, I feel like I don't know enough. Like, it was enough to tickle my interest, and, like, I want to go learn more now.
Exactly. I feel the exact same way, for sure. Yeah.
So that was really, really cool.
But I thought it was really interesting, like, the Amaru I thought was fascinating, partly because it was presented as such, like, a childish kind of mentality. Like, its understanding of things seems so young. And, like, I'm still not sure if that was because it's a semidios or if it's just the way that an Amaru thinks. I don't know.
It was like a lot of power in a
child's hands. And I thought that was really interesting.
It was very cool.
Very cool.
And the threat, and the way that she set up the threat of the earthquake in the beginning, and had this looming thread of threat through the whole thing. Like, you knew it was there, and you knew it was coming, and you weren't sure when.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the setup and the payoff of this book was so good.
And the thing is, I knew as soon as it's like, oh, the Amaru's gonna, like, here's the thing though, it's like, the Amaru's, I thought, I've read a lot of books, and I'm like, okay, the Amaru's gonna show up, the earthquake's gonna happen, everyone's gonna see the Amaru, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, badness happened because you guys were helping the Amaru, and now everyone is cursed, or, something bad happened, or whatever. And that is not what happened.
No, I was so glad, because I kind of had the same thought that this is where it was going, and I was so glad that that's not where it went.
So happy.
I loved the direction it went instead, which was the Amaru just saves the day.
I know! And I was thinking Natalia herself set that up, because she's like, oh, they're bad luck, they curse you, and they're like, whatever, and she's like, red herrings everywhere, Natalia, it's your fault.
She gets you with the superstition of the people, and you're like, oh, they must be bad. And, like, that whole thing where Asiri finds the Amaru and is like, you're not gonna curse us, right? And he's like, no curse.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have it in your head that that's what they do, is you encounter them, they curse you, they're bad, whatever.
There are these Amaru traps everywhere to keep them away. There's, like, a fear of them. It's like a generational thing that they carry with them.
Yes.
And you never find out exactly why, because it happened so far in the past.
Exactly.
It's just something they carried with them.
Yeah. And then that is not at all what happened.
Nope.
And it's so great, because I feel like we just kind of bypassed all of that kind of like, oh, you did this nonsense that we didn't need. And they just go straight to, wow, you saved us from a tsunami. You're awesome.
We just bypassed all of that nonsense that would be in another book.
Exactly.
But then you think about it, you're like, okay, but she was put on this path with that seashell.
Yeah.
And now Amarus are welcome in that town again. So, like, from the beginning.
This was, like, put into place.
Yes.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, that's, like, the whole thing where she has to go into all 3 different planes of existence. Like, all of that comes into play later. And she doesn't have her usual guides. And she finds who she has.
But everything that happens in the beginning happens at the end. She's bitten in the beginning, she's bitten in the end. Like, it's almost an exact repetition.
It was done so well. I loved it.
It was amazing.
what I love too is because there is like all this superstition about the curse and how bad Amarus are, whatever. Paloma finds them, and Asiri's like, I can't explain it right now, but we really just need your help. And she's like, yeah, all right. And she just rolls up her sleeves, and she's like, okay, because that's her ride or die friend. And she's just like, we're gonna do this.
I know.
And I loved it so much.
I guess we're in it now. Yeah. I've already seen it. Let's just do it.
Exactly. It's so good.
Oh, God.
I loved Paloma, though.
Paloma was amazing. And that whole scene in her shop where he, like, what did you do to your finger? And I'm like, oh. Uh-huh. Sir.
I had the same reaction. Excuse me, sir.
Wait, what?
I know. If I had had pearls, I would have clutched them.
I would have been clutching them so hard.
I know. I have a feeling that they're book 2, right?
I think they must be.
They must be. I hope they are. I'll be the first one to sign up.
Seriously. Oh my God.
I know. But I want to live in her pastry shop and just get fat.
Oh my God.
Because it sounds amazing. All of the food descriptions in this book made me so hungry.
Oh my God. I need to find a good Peruvian restaurant.
I know.
There are none around me.
I know. I was like, this sounds amazing. I would eat that.
I have so many good Asian restaurants and no Peruvian restaurants.
I bet we can find one. You'll have to come up and visit me because I bet we have one around here. I can almost guarantee it.
If you can find some good recipes online, I'm gonna be making
something.
Fucking Peruvian
I know,
food.
right? It sounded amazing. Oh, so good.
God.
I know.
It sounds so good.
I just, there were so many things about this book that I just love.
Well, and it's so funny because even like with the teasing with the kissing, and I'm not a fan of slow burn.
I was gonna say, this was another slow burn.
It was, but the book was short enough.
Yeah.
And it read fast enough that it didn't bother me so much.
Okay.
And the sex was really good.
It was!
And it happened frequently enough at the end that I didn't feel like it was mine.
It wasn't just a one and done.
It wasn't a one and done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey. Alright. So, I think my favorite one, like, it wasn't even a full sex scene. The whole thing in the rain.
Yeah.
Was fucking hot. And that wasn't even a complete, like, sex scene.
I think the waterfall was my favorite.
That was pretty good.
It was so good. They were both so, like, it was so well written.
It was.
It just was so well done.
It was really good.
Yeah, it just was such a good book. And yeah, it was a little short, and like, partly I'm saying that because I just wanted it to take longer.
I know, I just wanted more. It wasn't because I'm down on it being short, I just wanted to have more of it to read. It was a complete story, there was nothing lacking.
I was sad when it was over.
It's like it ended and I'm like, no, not done.
Exactly.
Want more.
Need more. I know. I totally agree. So I will definitely be reading the next ones for sure.
I was a bit frustrated with Asiri's refusal to like talk about her gift after a certain point.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit frustrated, partly because from Dario's point of view, I feel like Asiri had been like downright rude a couple of times.
Yes.
And like, so it just didn't seem believable to me that he was like, no, I'm gonna court her officially and like I'm gonna do and I'm just like, my dude, she has literally told you to shut up like twice.
Right.
And like, so that I was a little bit like, I don't know about that.
That's the thing.
But at the same time, I will say that because she had people that she trusted and loved take advantage of her powers, I do understand her reticence in not sharing that information.
I do.
Yeah.
But also,
yeah, it was frustrating.
It's like a part of her that is, it's not just a part of her, but it's a part of her that is interrupting her life to a point that it's literally stopping her from having something that she wants.
Yeah.
So you have to say something. Or not, and give up that. You can't, there was a point where I was like, oh my god.
And I feel like Natalia knew that, because it wasn't that long after that I reached that point that she was like, okay, it's all coming out now. Because I was starting to get frustrated too. I wanted to shake both of them, because I was like,
oh my god,
I cannot handle this.
Well, and I think that Natalia also gave us the ex-girlfriend to kind of be like, no, okay, here, we're gonna clear up some of this miscommunication.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it clear that she does like him, and
exactly. Yeah.
Because if it weren't for that, I would have probably bounced. Because honestly, it was driving me a little crazy.
No, I absolutely agree.
But that was the only criticism.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything else was great.
And that dinner with his parents.
Painful.
So painful. And I just wanted to be like, oh, sweetie, it's okay. You can tell me all about the animals. I don't care.
Are you kidding? I will tell you things about animals.
I know. You guys would get into a fact off.
Oh my god. You're talking to the person who someone asked me, think of an animal, and I thought of the echidna. And they're like, what the fuck is an echidna? And I'm like, oh, let me tell you about the echidna.
They're actually really interesting.
They're very cool. And their eyes glazed over a little bit. But now everyone in my family knows what an echidna is.
Well, I loved it too because she spent a good paragraph, like half a page, talking about Dario's realization about intelligence. And it's like, there are different forms of intelligence, and not everybody has the same kind of intelligence.
Absolutely.
And I loved that so much. It spoke to me. I was like, yes, because I don't really do that well on tests because I have anxiety and I overread the questions. And so I get them wrong because I read into them. And I'm like, well, if they mean this, then the answer is this. But if they mean this, then the answer is this. And really, it's just very straightforward.
It really is very straightforward.
But I don't think that way. So.
And he says it straight out. It's like, just because you don't do well in school doesn't mean you won't do well in life. And it was a great quote.
That was such a great moment in the book. Like, it really made me feel good.
It really was a meaningful statement. And I hope everyone who reads it takes it to heart because it's very true.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely. 100%.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This just was a feel-good book.
It was.
There was so much character growth. It made me laugh out loud a few times.
What a little hummingbird that just sits on my shoulder.
And he was so sweet. He's like, I got you. Like, you go do your thing. Like, I'll watch out for you from here. And it's just so sweet.
I just loved him so much.
I know.
And I even like that stupid guinea pig.
I know, he's so cranky.
Okay, no, but when she finally told Dario what the guinea pig was saying, was hilarious.
I know.
And he was like, we're just gonna go put him back in his cage.
I liked it because he was like, I thought we were friends.
I know. He was so, like, sad, but at the same time, like, oh my god.
I know. Oh, it was so funny.
Oh my god.
I loved it.
Hilarious.
I loved it. It was so good. Every character. I mean, even Donna Iris.
Oh my god, I would love to have her as a grandmother. She
Right?
was so willing to teach her how to weave, and like she was cranky, but at the same time, like kind, and it was just like, we're going to teach you how to do all of this.
Yeah, like the first time you meet her, you're like, woo, I don't know. But no, she's just a no-nonsense kind of like, I only have so much time, so, like, loved it. And she, like, gave her clothes for just because, let her stay in the rooms above the shop. Like, it was just she was so kind and so generous and so giving and so supportive and teaching her so much. And it was just so sweet. I just loved all of the characters. Like, they were all so interesting and good, and just this book just made me feel good.
Can I say that all of the villagers who think that Paloma is still engaged to Miguel are just what?
Yeah, that whole thing was
7 years.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, excuse me?
If he shows up in book 2,
Oh, I'm gonna be kind of. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be upset.
What if he shows up? What if it's true?
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
I don't know. But 7 years is a long time.
That is a really long time. What if he shows up and he's already got someone?
But if he shows up and she has moved on and he expects her to just be like, "You're my girl."
Yeah, I'm not here for that. 7 years.
7 years.
That's a long time.
Who expects her to wait for 7 years?
Right. With no communication?
No. I think 3 years and then that's it.
I agree.
Especially, with letters and stuff and time and 3 years and that's it.
Absolutely agree.
And that's giving it a year grace.
Yeah. And that's just for the timing of communication's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 would have been nice.
Yeah.
3 is the extra year of grace.
I absolutely agree. That it's just too long.
7?
Life is too short.
For real. Oh my god.
Yeah. I did love the descriptions of the villages in the Andes and just all of that. Like, as she's coming down the mountain and, staying in the nests of the animals and stuff. These bears.
Oh
that sound adorable.
Look, I am old and I don't want to camp ever, but I would sleep in these bear holes.
I know.
Just because.
And they're so formal and polite.
I know.
Loved it.
I'm like, I'm sure it would be very uncomfortable, but she just makes it sound so, cozy.
I know.
But I'm sure that my 43-year-old self would wake up and be like, my shoulder doesn't work now.
I know. I need 20 minutes just to get up off the floor, but it's okay. It was worth it.
Oh my god. Thank you so much for letting me sleep in your tree hole, Mr. Bear. I really appreciate it. They were all so sweet.
I know. So sweet.
God.
I loved the animals. This was a book made for me.
It really was. I loved all of it. The llamas were cool.
I know. And that disappointment where she didn't tell the farmer that the llama was pregnant, and the llama's just like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
I felt so bad.
And she's just walking away going, oh my god.
I felt so terrible. And I'm like, go back and save it.
It's not too late. I know.
Not too late.
I know.
But that was so funny because they did her parting shot. And Daria was like, go tell the farmer that the llama is pregnant.
And he's like, what?
What? Okay. Why?
Who's this guy to you? Yeah.
What is happening right now? How do you know this farmer?
Oh my gosh. It was so good. It was just so cute.
It really was.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I really did. I am so glad that I read it. And now we have to wait for the next one, which makes me sad.
I know. But it's worth it.
It's totally worth it. If you haven't read it, we've ruined it for you, but you should go read it.
Hopefully you read it before you listen.
I hope so. And I hope that you're just as giddy and excited about it.
Look, we are not those readers who think that you have to have a complete series before you read a book. Do you know how long I've waited for the completion of the Game of Thrones? Do you have any idea?
This is the thing, and it happens with TV as well, where people wait for the entire thing, but the problem is that it gets canceled, and so then you don't ever get it. You have to read it, you have to watch it, otherwise it's not going to be finished.
You have to buy the book. Please buy this book.
Please buy this book.
You can afford to make the second one.
Yes! It's so good!
Please buy her book. So she can, make a second one, because I want to read about the second one.
I do too. I want all 5. I'll read them all. I'm ready. Sign me up. I wonder if she's doing ARC sign-ups. I'll sign up for the next one.
Oh, you was an Earth reader? She said, love you.
Can you imagine?
You send her messages every 5 sentences. Oh my god!
Oh my god, that was so cute. What part are you at? Oh, this just happened. I forgot.
She wouldn't have to ask you. You just like, I just got to this part where this happened. Oh my god.
Oh no, I would give no context. I'm the worst. I'd be like, oh my god, that was so cute. What was? Oh, right.
You'd leave a kick-ass review, though.
I sure would. Absolutely would. I love this book so much. I loved it so much that I got a signed copy, which was really lucky for me because she was moving and she needed to move all her stock, so I got a really good deal. But I'm super excited. And the cover is beautiful.
It's gorgeous. I love the cover.
It's a beautiful book.
It's gorgeous.
So, and it came with a little bookmark. It's so pretty. I'm thrilled. So, yeah. Asiri and the Amaru.
Yeah.
So
go
good.
get it.
Go get it.
Okay, so what are we reading next time?
Next time we're going to read Odd Blood by Azalea Crowley.
I love this book. This is one of my favorite book series.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I cannot wait to talk about it. A really good one, followed by a really good one.
I'm so excited.
Okay, I am Daniela Drake.
And I'm Evelyn Crow.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Intoxicated Literature. Drink well, friends.